Evening all, welcome to another video, and tonight we're doing a beer that could potentially be a little bit controversial because it's a beer but not quite as you know it. It's a beer crossed with a milkshake, a strawberry milkshake at that, and the savvy amongst you will have realised what it is because you've clicked on the video and seen the header, but for those who just randomly click around YouTube or just happen to stumble upon things with their eyes half closed, might not have seen it. It's this one. It's a supermarket ale from Thornbridge and Pure. It's this one. Fresa. Strawberry is the point of this beer. What can we tell you about it? Well, it's a 330ml bottle. It's about £2.50 in Tesco. Possibly available elsewhere. Haven't really looked. And it's bang on the money, you know. And I say bang on the money because I have tried it and I kind of beat myself to the punch. I drank it before the video, so I bought another one. Well, I've had quite a few to try in the name of science in the meantime, just to make sure I like it, because the first taste was a little bit, this is different. Anyway, what can I tell you about it? Well, it's a 4.8% IPA that's flavour inspired by a strawberry milkshake. And how do they go about achieving that? Well, in a couple of ways. Obviously you've got your standard IPA base, and then it's sort of married up with lactose for the sweetness to give it that kind of that real sweet milky edge. It's got real strawberries and vanilla extract, so you're going to get that creaminess from the vanilla and the strawberries that just balance everything. And I'm kind of giving it away up front, but what can I say? I'm sure many of you who've watched this video have tried this by now, and if you haven't, why not? Because you really should. This is great stuff. So let's open it, pour it, drink it, enjoy it. And whilst we drink it, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So here we go. So you can see it's very pale, hazy, and you get a bit of a head on it. And the first thing when you're pouring it is the smell. Is that kind of real sweet smell from the lactose and the strawberries. And look at it, it's a lovely colour. It's hazy, it's lightly carbonated, so there is some carbonation there for those of you who like it that way. It's not flat and kind of overly sweet and cloying. Now the first thing I get is the strawberry, but underneath that there are other things. You get the hops, you get the bitterness of the hops coming through. There are other things. The vanilla, you can get, let's say, vanilla, strawberries and the hops are the predominant notes to me. My nose is a little bit bunged up at the minute, so I can't get everything. But there's a lot of sweetness. But when you taste it, that's when the magic happens. The first thing you get is a tiny hit of hop. And I say tiny, and it does seem to vary between bottles, I must say. Because I've had, what, half a dozen of these now, and some bottles are slightly hoppier than others. This one is verging on the slightly sweeter side, but like always, the hop comes first, then an immediate balance from the sweetness of the strawberries and the lactose. But the thing that really strikes you is the thickness and the creaminess of this beer. It is a bit of a masterpiece, really, because it's things that shouldn't work together. Strawberries should not work in beer, but they do. Same as vanilla. It works with strawberries, you know, strawberries and cream, but you would not expect these flavours to come well in a beer, but they do. There's something, now how can I word this, reassuringly unusual about the whole flavour combination. And my first instinct was, this doesn't really taste like a beer. And then my second sort of thoughts were, well, hang on a minute. There is beer there, because it comes through in the aftertaste. You get that maltiness that just mellows behind the vanilla. Because, like I say, first it's hops, and it comes in the strawberry. Sort of the strawberries kind of lay off a little bit. You get the creaminess of the vanilla, and then that kind of lays off into that malt. And it's an interesting profile. And who I think this will appeal to is people who aren't overly fans of hops, who maybe aren't even big beer fans, but want to try something, a bit of a gateway beer, if you will. And I think, without sounding, how can I put it, we'll say controversial, it might appeal to many women who want to try beer, but don't like the massive hop hits that many beers give, particularly sort of old school bitters, maybe in the double and triple IPAs. But this gives you just enough of that beer experience to really get to want to try more. And of course you've got the strawberries that really give it something that little bit. I've not had anything quite like this before. It really is refreshingly different, and that's the one thing I like about the craft beer industry. There's lots of different things going on. There's lots more experimentation in different beers, and when you get two brewers like Thornbridge and 4Pure come together, I mean, they've both got decent heritage from, I say decent heritage, and I say that kind of ironically because it's craft beer, it's a relatively new industry. Decent heritage within the craft beer industry. They've been around a while, long enough to sort of know their customers and know what they want to try. And all credit to them for trying something different, because it's easy to play it safe with a session IPA or something a little bit stronger and go into the double IPA world, or maybe even the saisons. But a fruity beer that isn't tropical or citrus is a very pleasant change. And more power to the two breweries in question, Thornbridge and 4Pure, for doing it, because this is a great little ale. Not only is it great, it's easily available. Like I say, supermarkets everywhere will have it, and at 4.8%, it's not exactly like a little wallflower. It's going to have a decent sort of punch to it over time. But what more can I tell you about it? Does it really give me anything more? No. No, it doesn't. It just tells me a collaboration between Thornbridge and 4Pure. Fresa is our creamy session milkshake IPA with fresh strawberries and a hint of vanilla. And it gives you a packaged on and a best before. It's packaged on 10th September 2018. There you go. So still reasonably fresh. Best enjoyed within 90 days. Well, I've done that easily. And if you've got these in your fridge, they will quite clearly go within the 90 days. So yeah, if you want to try something that is a little bit different, that's a little bit sweet, but not overly sweet, because there are some IPAs out there that are, shall we say, ice cream influenced, that I find personally a bit on the sweet side. This is a good balance of sweet and bitter and creaminess all thrown into one. It's a bit of a, how can I put it politely? I can't, so I'll refrain. It messes with your head, that's the best way to put it, because it, like I say, its flavours shouldn't go together, but they do. And it's tasty. It is a banging effort for £2.50. I would happily drink plenty of these. I would not think twice about walking into a pub and saying, give me a bottle of that, because it's fantastic. People might look at you a bit funny, because it's not your regular dippers and tippers and ippers and any other kind of iteration of that style of beer. It is quality, make no mistake. And on that note, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of this. So thank you everyone for watching. This has been the Thornbridge and 4Pure Fresa. I've been Nick, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.